Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 13, Episode 2. So let's get to it, shall we? Alright, you guys, so the show opens with Kenya. She's at her home. She's doing a little cleaning. It looks like she's about to have company, and that would be correct. Cynthia comes over. She has a bottle of sparkling wine. They're going to sit down outside and enjoy it. Kenya tells her that she's invited LaToya over, and this would be where we are introduced to our newest friend of the show, LaToya from YouTube. Whenever somebody asks you about a person and they answer you with the way that Kandi did, well, LaToya can be a lot. That's not really the best. That's really not the best description. She came on the show evidently as a friend of Kandi's, but Kenya has taken to her so much. She loves her so much that Kenya says that she's just going to steal her as a friend. So she tells Cynthia, yeah, she invited LaToya over. She's coming over today. You know, she's going to go down there and meet her at the door. And Cynthia was like, oh, she get the welcome. I had to come through the fucking woods. But yeah, Kenya brings up LaToya. They sitting outside. Hot as fuck in Atlanta, you know, everybody's sweating. As a matter of fact, LaToya talks about her sweating problems, how it just be dripping in the office. Like, girl, we don't want to hear that. But I'm guessing because of COVID, they're trying to make sure that they have these scenes outside. So, you know, they're chatting about different things, and we find out that LaToya is Trinidadian, and we find out that Mark is Trinidadian. I said, now that I don't think it is, you know, my memory, you guys will remind me if I am wrong, but I don't think that we ever heard that Mark was Trinidadian. So it's interesting that they're just really harping on it this time, maybe because she's Trinidadian. So we find out that she's in the middle of a divorce. Her and her husband are separated, but they are staying in the same home. Why is my thing? Kenya is telling her about, you know, the challenges that she's having with Mark. And LaToya is just like, oh, girl, he's just having a tabanka. Okay, that's a word where I guess, I don't know. They give you the definition of it. It isn't anything good. It means that he was having a moment he was going through, you know, why he was so pissed. But yeah, Kenya's having a hard time, you know, this whole divorce thing, you know, she feels kind of bad. She doesn't want to just spring the divorce on him. I said, girl, trust me, you ain't springing it on him. He got to know that something is coming. You guys don't even like each other. I mean, Kenya seems to be trying or giving the facade or putting on the show that she's trying, but Mark ain't doing none of that. He don't give a fuck, not for the cameras, none of that. She said he's a high conflict person, so she already knows that it's about to be a fight, and I think we agree with her on that one. Maybe a little bit like Kenya. We all said last season that Kenya had met her match because Mark is very much like Kenya. Okay, I'm sure she's high conflict as well. I thought it was interesting, though, that Cynthia was not sure how she felt about LaToya. She's going to try to give her a chance. So she tells them that she's going to have like a little sip at the house, you know, Lake Bailey. She wants to invite LaToya there because, you know, she's got these black wine companies. She wants to taste the wines and decide what she's going to put in her cellar next. So she wants them to come and be a part of that. And LaToya was like, oh, she's coming to the river. And she's like, no, baby, it's just a lake. It's not a river. Yeah, LaToya is, I guess the description is she is a lot. Okay, next we see Porsha. Actually, Porsha's home. Her mother and her sister Lauren are at the house watching the baby while she was in Kentucky with the super. And remember, she had just got out of jail last week. So she calls and she's just telling them how difficult it's been. She's out of jail. She tired. She was like, it stank in there and it was cold and the floors was hard. And you know what? She's over it. Not over it, but she's done for the day. You know, she's done for this time. She's ready to come home. She's going to buy a ticket for the 5 o'clock flight and she'll be back. But she says that she's glad that she did it. And her mother and her sister are proud of her. She's talking about it was an eye opener for her to be able to you know, be able to still come home, hug her mom, hug her daughter, kiss her, tell her she loves her. She was like, you know, Breonna Taylor's mother doesn't have that option any longer, you know, and it just was awesome for her to come out of jail and to see Breonna Taylor's mother out there, you know, welcoming them out. And, you know, they're all in this fight together. So she was just really inspired by Breonna Taylor's mother. I'm telling you guys, it is still, that story, Breonna Taylor's story, is still so sad. When I think about it, it's just sad that nothing came of that. Nothing. Anyway, Porsha Luther King makes it on back home, and she's talking to her mom, who is making breakfast for little baby PJ. And she was just like, it was really scary. She pretty much knew that she was going to be okay, but there are some moments that are scary when you're not used to being arrested and going to jail and all of that. It can be scary. I'm sure it would have been even more scary if she wasn't with a big group of people, and it had a lot of eyes on it, and it was highly, everybody saw what they were doing out there. So it wasn't like they could just throw Porsha in jail for a long ass time and we wouldn't know anything about it. So she had that working on her side, but she still was like, it was a lot, and it just reminded her of what, or just enforced for her what her grandfather went through. But with all of the activism that she's doing, she also knows that she has other obligations. I have to remember that everything does not stop. So I have a job that I have to tend to. I have my baby, my family. She's got to figure that out as well. And if she is going to be doing the activism, she also has to be 100% committed to the obligations that she's promised. And then she got to figure out what the fuck she gonna do with Super. Okay, I'm just like, girl, you ain't got to. Now we didn't. What is this? The third season that we got this man, and we know that you guys not together. The bottom line is, you guys got together too early. Rushed into this relationship, didn't really know each other, found out some things about each other that, wasn't really the best. He cheated, y'all trying to force this relationship. And I admire it because, when you have a kid, you try to do what you can. But the bottom line is no. Okay. He lives down in Atlanta, and then he lives here sometimes too. But, we have to figure out, what we gonna do next. Girl, the next should be you going back down to Atlanta. Well, they broken up now, I believe. But it was just sort of like, girl, you ain't got to keep dragging this out. It just didn't work. Sometimes shit don't work. It don't mean that they a fucked up ass person or nothing. Sometimes it's just we got to cut our losses and we got to get. She said that the relationship is starting to feel toxic. That's really when you need to bounce, because now, you saying and doing things is taking you out of your character. You got a baby that you need to be trying to act civil in front of, and all of that. Just, girl, it's just done. Now, we saw that Kenya introduced LaToya. Well, Cynthia is introducing Drew Sidora, okay? The actress, the singer. She's a little bit different than LaToya, actually quite a bit different than LaToya, because Drew seems like she's a little bit more mature. She doesn't seem like she's kind of one of those in your face and out there and all of that like LaToya is. A newbie to Atlanta. She's only been here a year, but she's hoping that this move, because it's like the new Hollywood and there's a lot of shit happening here. She wants to work with Tyler Perry. She put all that out there. Cynthia was like, you're going to love it here. I mean, you're going to love the girls. Like, girl, let me just tell you, everybody is a boss. Everybody is doing it in their own right. Do you know Kenya? And she was just like, well, I know of Kenya. Everybody knows of Kenya. But she was just like, yeah, I don't really know her like that. I think, we've been around each other or whatever. Cynthia was like, you guys could maybe have worked together in the past. And she was just like, oh, I think that we were just kind of in a different age bracket. And I was like, oh. As soon as she said that, I was like, okay, I think it's known now that Drew and Kenya don't like each other. Their paths have crossed some kind of way. Because when she said that, I was like, oh, that's sort of not necessary, because you could be in a movie together and she could be 80 and you could be 15 and you could still be, you ain't near each other in age, you could still be in the movie, so that's when she was like, Cynthia was like, oh, that's not no shade, because we didn't say she had to play your mama. She was like, she could play my sister, she could play my friend, like, yeah, so. But, when she said that, I was like, okay, I think I already know how this is all going. But anyway, Drew says she wants bigger and better roles, so she's hoping that Atlanta gonna bring it to her. Cynthia mentions her husband, Ralph, and that Ralph and #chill have a relationship. So she likes this couple. She was like, he's a good man because he's been taking care of me, because, I forgot to mention that she has a boot on her leg. He's been tending to her and making sure she's all good and, making her happy and all that. They've been together for 6 years. Cynthia was like, oh my gosh, we need to do a couples night. And she was like, yes, we need to, get out and go out together. Commiserate on the work that marriage takes. And then we get the package on Drew. Okay, we see her at home. She's in bed. Her mother comes with a big bouquet of flowers, sings happy birthday to her. And We see her husband there, Ralph. They've been married 6 years. This is their 6th anniversary. I'm sorry, it's not her birthday. It's their anniversary. It's their 6th anniversary. And she tells us that they met when she was doing the movie TLC, and that they had met 3 months later. They were, I guess, engaged. 6 months later, they were married. Okay. And now 6 years later, they are, you know, what we seem to think a happy, healthy, married couple. She says that her mom is there because she came down before COVID started, and then COVID happened, and then the mom stayed. Okay. And the mom is, she is definitely a strong individual. They show a little part where the mom is arguing with the husband, and honey, she was like, I was like, oh, okay. She looked like she gonna be something else. She's a pastor. And, she was like, okay, I'm going to watch the kids for you guys for the weekend and all, but on Sunday, you're going to come for praise and worship. Okay, that's the deal. They do agree that that's what they'll do. They'll go on to praise and worship. I mean, she looks like the type that you probably just need to agree with most times just to save yourself some energy. But so far, I like her mother. Next, we see Kandi. Okay, she's doing that weird thinking, talking to herself in the car like, oh, we got to hurry up and get there. You know, I'm on with it. They're doing it more and more these days, you guys. Anyway, she makes a call on her cell phone. Mama, we not far from your house. Oh, make sure that you got your mask. Oh, okay, I'm coming. I'm gonna get my mask. Yeah, because I was trying to figure out that covert. I said covert. Well, old people always would have put an R in some shit. So when she comes out to the car, she was just like, you look cute. Oh, thank you. Can you believe that we doing this? We got Riley, and then you got how long before the other ones? Lord, I hope that I still be around. I'm so old. They're on their way to Riley's graduation, and they can only have 2 people because of COVID. So it will be Kandi and her grandmother. Kandi is talking about her graduation. When she graduated from Tri-Cities out here, she said that she actually was out of town with her group, Escape. They had a show that night, but she was determined not to miss her graduation. So she flew into Atlanta, went to her graduation, and then flew back out. So, you know, her graduation really was more for her to just have the feel of walking across the stage, she said, because not nobody was even there besides her mom and all. But yeah, here we are with Riley. I don't know if I'm ready to let her go yet. I mean, I'm excited that she's going off to college, but I'm just not ready for her to move off away for good. And I was like, girl, just keep on living, because it was very difficult. You guys remember me crying and carrying on with Mr. Joseph, right? We didn't do that with Jada, did we? Girl, I was ready. So yeah, that first one is difficult. I mean, it's totally, you know, you feel like you letting go, and you know, you don't have control of anything, but honey, yeah, you're gonna be all right. It is an adjustment though, you guys. So we do see little clips of the graduation. We see Riley, and actually, you guys, I was wrong last week. I thought she didn't have her nose job in her graduation, but I was looking at them pictures and I was like, oh yeah, she did have her nose job. So I don't know exactly when she got that nose job done. Afterwards, they're at the house, and Riley just graduated. So they're back there, and you know, Todd was just like, oh, look at our new graduate. Look at you. You know, she has her degree. You know, Kandi's like, let me see. Oh, look at this. Yeah, it's a graduation diploma. But, you know, she's just proud of her daughter. I mean, all the feels, you guys, all the feels. Todd says, oh, I got something for you, Riley. And he pulls out a stack of money. He says, this is just to get you started in New York. Okay, so she takes some money. People are making a big deal that she didn't say thank you. I mean, y'all, people say she's spoiled. You know, it's just, y'all get off Riley. Just get off the girl. Let that child live. But that was very nice of Todd. And we saw little baby Ace even tell her congratulations. So very cute. So Cynthia's preparing everything with her assistant. And first to get there are Kenya and Toya. Toya comes in shade hot, like ready. You know, oh, is that a fake tree over there? I was like, oh. They kind of get on her about the fake grapes on there. I was like, okay, Cynthia, the grapes really. But then she was just like, oh yeah, I like cold meatballs. Excuse me, you knew. And then I started thinking like, this is probably the reason why they didn't give her a peach. Because even though She comes with all of the shits and giggles and all that comes with LaToya. They made the mistake of giving somebody who is, what is the word that I'm looking for? Who is urban. Okay, y'all know what I mean. They made the mistake of giving somebody Peach before, and that would be DeVoe. What's her name? Shani, whatever her name is. Ronnie DeVoe's wife. They gave her the Peach. That didn't work out. LaToya, you know, I don't want to say it, but I feel like Bravo feels like she would bring down the brand of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yes, it's cool to have her as a friend, but we don't know if we can give her the Peach because of all of her antics. So bring her on, let her get the shit started, and then we can really dispose of her easily if we have to. So she's rude and unnecessarily so. It's just like, you want people to like you? I think the fact that her and Kenya, you know, she knows that Kenya is there. She feels like she can do that more. And I think that's really the reason why Kenya likes her. Because Kenya knows that she's going to push that envelope and that she's going to push buttons on people and that she just wants to see that. Marlo gets there. And that damn Kenya was like, oh, I don't know what happened to Marlo. Marlo just fell off. Like, she just fell all the way off. I mean, you know, she ain't never been on to me if you ask me, but she was all, I was just like, oh, why you doing Marlo like that? You know, Marlo comes in and Cynthia tells her to sit next to Kenya. Okay, I can be an adult, can we, Kenya? Well, I don't know. That remains to be seen. There's actually a lot of tension with Marlo. It's funny that they keep Marlo on the show, because Marlo now feels out of place. The fact that Nene is not there, who is Marlo really, truly friends with? Cynthia tolerates Marlo at best. Nobody else, and Kandi does. I guess maybe Porsha. Maybe. Yeah, I think Porsha and Marlo might be the next two friends to emerge out of this, because Cynthia don't really fuck with her like that. We know Kenya definitely don't. Kandi also is one that tolerates Marlo, you know, ain't gonna get too close because she already knows that Marlo will bring the shit if she has to. So it doesn't feel the same because Nene's not there. So Marlo really is just, I feel like she's also another one there to just kind of get the conversation going. But she's good at it, you guys, because when they start talking about Kandi's daughter, Toya, you know, she's like, well, what kind of car does she have? What was her first car? And they were like, oh, we think Porsche. And I was just like, well, what difference does it make? I mean, you know, rich kids get rich gifts from their rich parents, and they usually have nice cars, and so it's not comparable, you know. But anyway, she was just like, oh, my first car was from a sugar daddy. And Marlo was just like, oh, sugar daddy. Oh, what's that? I need to get me one of those. And Kenya was like, girl, you've been talking about a sugar daddy all your life. And Marlo was like, no, y'all was calling him a sugar daddy. I just went on along with it. That's who I was seeing. He was an older man and he was white, and you guys just kept calling him a sugar daddy. So I was just like letting y'all call him that. But she said that wasn't no sugar daddy. Toya said that she met her sugar daddy at the strip club. I was just like, was she a stripper? She's been on YouTube all this time, right? I mean, she's been on there for some years. I didn't really watch her. I've seen a couple of her things, but nothing that I can remember. But I didn't remember stripper being in her past. But you guys let me know if that's true. But anyway, you know, she jump up and she do her little butt and everything. I mean, she's a beautiful girl. She's very pretty. She has a very nice shape. Her skin is very peanut buttery and smooth. I was just like, girl, you is really nice looking, you know. She's just exciting, and she's just a whole bunch. You know, she sits down with Kenya, and her and Kenya get to playing with each other and, you know, kind of pulling on each other's hair, and everybody is just kind of sitting there looking. Marlo was just like, who is this Kenya? Who is she? And I was like, yeah. But like I told you, Kenya feels alive with LaToya because I think she sees much of herself in LaToya in a younger version. No shade. But it's whatever. So there's a knock at the door, and Cynthia and #Chill go to meet Drew and her husband, Ralph. They get there, you know, and the girls are in the other room, and they're just like, who is this? Why is she coming here? Why is she here with a man? I mean, I thought this was a girl. Why? I was just like, and of course, LaToya is like heading that whole little talk. Kenya was just like, I don't know where Cynthia gets these strays from. Okay, talking about Drew. And I was just like, why is it that Kenya is calling her a stray and not liking her from the very beginning? Like I said, they probably have crossed paths in some way. I did see that somebody said on Twitter that Kenya feels threatened by anybody that's like a real actress, you know, somebody that actually has done the things that she's done, maybe more, maybe better, because she kind of treated Kim, I was going to say Kim Kardashian, child. Kim feels that way as well. Drew is definitely not a stray. People know who she is, okay? Probably more so than they know LaToya, not trying to compare the two. When Drew comes and sits down with the girls, you know, she's saying hello to everybody, giving them, you know, little air hugs or whatever they're doing. And then LaToya is just like one of those ones that looks at Kenya, her friend, and she's just sort of like, you know how you do with your friends when you're being messy. But we really in close proximity here. And she was just like, she's got a pet on her head. And I was just like, why are you doing this? The girl just walked in the fucking room. You don't know her from Adam. You talking about her hair just because you can. Like, I don't like girls like that. I'm gonna try to give LaToya a chance because, you know, I know that the producers probably pumped her up and said, you got to come on, you got to be full of energy, you got to be willing to go there, you know, you got to do this, that, and the other. And I'm all for a cute little fun little shade and all of that. But when you just pick on people, or when you just try to be a certain way to people just for no reason, that's when I'm gonna have a problem with you. LaToya's on reserve right now. So far, I seem to like Drew. She seems to be cool. Cynthia says we're gonna go outside, you know, because again, COVID, I'm sure they don't say it, but that's the reason, because nobody goes outside and sit in the heat if they don't have to. They get out there, child, they look like they melting. They just patting their face and all of this. They ask her about her boot. What happened to her leg? She said she hurt her Achilles tendon, you know, and she just has to wear this boot for a while. And honey, LaToya's like bored with that. She gonna go get her a drink, and then she come back and she was just like, see, Drew, this is why I don't like you. I was like, here we go already, damn. But you guys, she actually just made a joke and said, you know, you was the one that broke up from the game, med school and homeboy. What was his name? Why don't I want to say Derry? Child, you know who I'm talking about. So then everybody kind of laughed, and then she's like, I can't get away from that, you know. But I still feel like it was like a warning to how Drew and LaToya are going to get along in the future of the show. So anyway, when Marlo was like, oh yeah, you were on the game, huh? Well, you could probably get Kenya some real jobs. You know, and I know that made Kenya's hackles rise, but Kenya didn't go there with Marlo. When LaToya gets up and walks to the kitchen, Marlo follows her in there. And she was just like, girl, don't you trust her. Don't tell her all your business. She will use it against you. She's good. And LaToya's like, you really think so? Yeah, honey, she couldn't keep a man that Jesus paid her to. I said, Marlo, stop. Stop it, Marlo. Cynthia and the girls, they talking about her wedding, and, you know, Cynthia wanting everybody to be there, and it's important that she has a whatever, child. Toya asked her if she was going to be invited to the wedding. She want to come, and Cynthia was like, I just met you. Like I said, this child don't have no decorum. So yeah, that's what's going on with the girls. Now the camera jumps over to #Chill and Ralph. #Chill don't really know many men in Atlanta. All his friends are in Los Angeles. Ralph says that the honeymoon stage definitely is over, you know, and him and his wife, you know, it's like a roller coaster ride. It's really wild, you know. It'd be good one moment and then something to happen, and you know. So he's just talking, I'm thinking he's just talking about just a regular marital relationship. You know, these things do happen. Some days they are great, some days they're not so great, you know. So I'm just listening to them talk. #Chill says he's been married a couple of times already. It didn't work out for him, so he don't really have no ideas on it either. But maybe these two can, you know, put their notes together, and maybe they can make it work out the best for the both of them, you know. He says that they've been married six years, been together 6.5 years, but it's been tough, especially now that his mother-in-law is there, and the mother-in-law has really a strong personality, and he has a strong personality, and they clash sometimes. Sometimes he just needs a space, you know. Sometimes he'll just get up and he'll just leave, you know, and leave for a few days. And I'm still sitting here listening to him and thinking like, okay, well, you know, sometimes the girls, we all might go on an all-girl trip, or, you know, the boys, the fellas should be able to do these kind of things too. So I'm thinking like, okay, that's what he's talking about, right? He got a planned trip with his boys just so he can go somewhere. But I was listening to him talking. I was like, listen, Ralph, you better be careful telling it all on this show. Now, this is a reality show, a very well-watched reality show. You about to open up this jar and everybody gonna be in your business, okay? Do you really want that? But anyway, getting back to the girls. She's gonna let them taste the wine. She just looks at Kenya like, I will let Kenya have her, you know, with her expertise. Kenya's like, why are you looking at me like that? You know, because we know that Kenya was shady about Cynthia not necessarily knowing much about her wines. But anyway, This time Cynthia's ready. So she's like, this one is a Sauvignon Blanc, and this one is a Merlot, and this one. So they all drinking the wines and enjoying the wines. You know, are you going to swallow or are you going to spit? I know you're a swallower, but you want to spit, you know, because Kenya is driving. We somehow get on Kenya's divorce, you know, that upcoming. LaToya talks about her separation from her husband, and that she still, you know, she goes out and does what she wants to do. And Drew was just like, what? So you separated, that means you're still married, but you know, you still going out. And LaToya was just like, yeah, because we're not together no more, so we can do what we want to do. She's like, well, if you want to do something like that, why don't you just get a divorce? There definitely needs to be some time before you just start dating other people. But when you separated, to me, I feel like you can go and do something because you are in the process of getting a divorce. Okay. But I always warn that when people are separated and you get involved with a separated person, there's always a chance that they might get back with their spouse. And that means that you should probably just not deal with separated people. But you got to remember that there are people that be separated for 5 years, 10 years. And so they just not supposed to date nobody. They never got a divorce. Now, the reason why they didn't is ridiculous, and they should have got a divorce. But the fact of the matter is they still married. And so, yeah, people do what they need to do. Everybody just needs to be adult with it. But, you know, Drew was like, no, you just get a divorce. So Drew was talking about how difficult that marriage has been. And, you know, even mentioned that Ralph had left for some days and she didn't know where he was. And everybody was like, what, girl? And I was like, Drew, what? Now, I thought that the boy was going on a trip with his boys. I didn't know this nigga was just gone and you didn't know. Red flag. Now, Cynthia and Kenya get up and they go inside and, you know, they're just kind of talking. What do you think about the girls? Oh, it doesn't look like Drew and LaToya are going to mix well. Kenya does mention that, you know, Drew's husband leaving for 3 days does remind her of her shit with Mark. She's going to file for custody first. She's going to do a post-nup. And then she's going to move forward. Once she gets all that settled, then she's going to move forward with the divorce. And that she's not going to just spring the divorce on Mark. You know, she is definitely going to talk to him and let him know that it's coming. And I was just like, girl, you still real kind. So she goes back out there. Let me go get my girl, you know, because I'm driving. So let me make sure that she come on and go. Okay. So everybody is starting to say goodbye to each other. They're giving each other hugs and all of that. The night is over. And it was an interesting shade-filled night with the new girls on the show. Now, lastly, you guys, let's talk about Drew and Ralph. Now, the way that they presented themselves at the beginning of the show is very different than the way that they were presented at the end of this show. I am not sure if this is the real deal Holyfield or if they just acting for the show, but I was just like, first of all, I hope you guys are ready for the attention that your marriage is about to get. And much of it not the positive, especially on Ralph's end, that the viewers of this show is about to put on y'all. Okay, I just hope that they ready. A lot of people get on these shows, and even though we watch these shows and all that, they still don't realize the pressure. And that this machine, honey, will chew your ass up. Okay? So, with all that being said, it's their anniversary, right? He done had Chef Love come and cook the food, and he got champagne and flowers and candy and all of this, and they gonna have lunch and sit down and talk. Come on, baby, sit down and eat and talk with me. And he says that their relationship, when it's good, is good, but when it's bad, it's really bad. And you guys know how I feel about that 7 year. It's a real thing. It is a fucking real thing, you guys. And they right on the cusp of it. That 7th year is hard for whatever reason. Drew wants to have a 7-year wedding, you know, just to rededicate themselves to each other. And he says, okay, well, Drew, how about you tell me about the things that's not working? And she was just like, oh, you want to do that now? Okay, it's a safe space for me to say what I need to say. He's like, yeah, go on and tell me what it is. Okay, well, since you asked, you know, she has a problem with the fact that he decided to leave and didn't tell her where he was going. You don't have any transparency in this relationship. She wants that to change. You be able to talk to me and say exactly what's what. Communication is key. This is where I was just like, okay, yeah, I don't like Ralph. Okay. Ralph is one of those ones who like to try to manipulate what is being said here to make you feel like you being crazy. Because this woman is married to you and have been with you for 6 years. You guys got kids together and everything. All right. You decide to leave and go out of town and not tell this woman where you were for 3 fucking days. Okay. He kept on saying, well, why is it that important? Like, what difference does it make? What is going to make anything different? How does that help you? He's trying to tell her that she don't understand men and black men in particular and how that they work. I said, don't try to lump all black men on your bullshit. All black men don't do that. He's trying to tell her that him leaving in the spur of the moment, you know, when he's feeling the way that he's feeling, is better than him staying. Okay, that it would actually be worse for him to stay the way that he feels. You know, he has all this pressure on him. He's the first generation success in his family. He's an entrepreneur. None of that matters. Bottom line is him leaving, not saying where he's going is a fucking problem. Okay, she was just like, well, where did you go? Like, why can't you tell me? He says, I was at a beach. I already told you. She said, what beach? And he was like, what difference is, you know, so he's going back and forth with that. I was like, girl, you're not asking the right questions, okay? Could give a fuck where he went. He could have went around the corner. The question is, nigga, is you cheating? Who the fuck was you with that you couldn't tell me where you were because you knew then that I could contact you or I could show up there and your secret would be out? Okay, the fact that you don't want to tell me something means that you're hiding something, because it should be easy enough for you to say where the fuck it was if it was that simple. So I'm thinking like, Drew, why you not asking him who the fuck was he with? That's who I want to know. Girl, you've been doing this for 6 years? Shit. She says that it was important. He still don't want to say. She was like, see, I knew it was a trap. I knew you was just talking to be talking. And he was just like, but what does it resolve? And she was like, I just need to know. Okay. I'm up here cooking dinner and I'm bringing the plate down to you and I'm banging on the door. And I said, wait, excuse me. This nigga just dipped in the middle of watching Monday Night Football. Nigga, hey, baby, you want some chicken with your... And this nigga is gone? Oh, my God. That is even more troubling. Not only did the nigga not just leave, but the nigga left like a thief in the fucking night. And you didn't know... Oh, no. No. Come on, Drew. She says her eyes are open, and I was just like, girl, this man got something he is hiding. So she finally keep on pressing him on it, and he finally says Tampa. You know, she's like, I don't know who passes 3 or 4 beaches just to get to Tampa, a beach is a beach. Yeah. Okay. We're going to ride this out and see how your story goes. But anyway, he was like, but how does that help you? I was just like, oh, I cannot with him. I already know he gonna get on my fucking nerves, and the fact that she's getting so worked up because he's just, that doesn't change anything because he was still gone and all of that, but he knows why she feels the way that she feels, because if she would do the same thing to him, he probably wouldn't like that shit. Yeah, I don't. And so then I was just like, well, all of the heat that he gets, he deserves, because you ignorant right now. She gets so upset that she was just like, I'm not even doing this no more. Okay, we can dead this right now. Dead what? Oh, another one of them things that get on my nerves when men try to act like they don't never know what the fuck you talking about. Nigga, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. She gets up and she's crying in the other room. She not gonna do this. He trying to make her look stupid and all of that. And I was like, I hope you really know. Okay, if this really truly did happen, girl. All right, you guys, let me get off of here. I got some running around I need to do. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is Sports Rocks, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.